Hey guys, Hypersonic93 here. So I went to Fairfax Comic-Con and I got to meet Ryan Drummond, the voice actor for Dreamcast Sonic, and I got to go to a Q&A that he did. And what you're about to see is all the footage I took, so I hope you enjoy.
Agent, as a matter of fact. I graduated from college, Eastern Michigan University, and moved to Southern California. And when I was in Southern California, I got an agent, because that's what you do when you're an actor. And my first agent was actually the one who was just like, hey, you have a really interesting voice. Have you ever thought about doing voiceover? And I was like, I do funny voices in the shower like everyone else. She was like, well, you should try it. You should go out for some auditions. And so, yeah. And so I started going out for auditions and I started booking them. And I did that for about 3 years. And that's when I got invited to audition for Sega for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. So that's kind of how it happened. I just kind of fell into it because of my first agent. So, Carol, wherever you are, thank you.
So, unfortunately, we have an emergency here. We have a lost child.
Oh, a lost child. Let's find
Do you
this.
want to?
We're going to figure this one out. I did what Sonic was going to sound like. I didn't know what he was supposed to sound like. And so I just looked at the first line and went,
pick up all the gold rings and get a free life.
and the guy was like, yeah, okay, I like that. Do the second line like that. So I read the second line. He was like, okay, do the whole page like that. And so I read the whole page and he was like, that was great. Thank you very much. And that was it. And like I said, about a week later, they called and they were like, we'd like you to do Sonic. And I was like, okay. So it kind of helped me, I think, the fact that I didn't have any preconceived ideas of what Sonic should be. I just looked at the picture and that's the voice I imagined coming out of the character.
And you nailed it.
Well, thanks.
So.
And 26 years later, we're sitting here talking about it. No.
The heavy hitting question.
Some of you have actually asked me this question, so you're going to hear it again. My favorite game has to be Sonic Adventure, the first one, and that's because, there we go, and some of you too. And that's because that was the first game I worked on. So that one is very, very special to me. It's tattooed on my heart in a way that no other game is. However, if I'm playing the games, I actually prefer Sonic Adventure 2 over 1. And just a little bit more than Sonic Heroes as well, and the others. Like Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite game to play. But emotionally attachment, that's the first Sonic Adventure.
So Sonic is known for his catchphrases. Is it out to you?
Yes. One in particular. We were recording Sonic Adventure 2, and the entire directing staff had come from Sega of Japan to the studio in Los Angeles to attend the voice recording. And what was fun about that is that there were 5 directors from Japan, and none of them spoke English. And so they had brought in one translator who would be there and would field all the notes from the 5 directors, and then the translator would turn around and tell me what they said. And there was some line I had that day. There was a lot of funny things from that day, honestly. But there was one line where, I don't know, it's just a line, doesn't matter what it is. And the 5 directors had a lot of things to say. And I was in the booth and I was watching them and they're talking for a good 30 seconds. And the translator is going, I. And then he gets into my ear and he says, okay, they said to do it faster but slower. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know how to do that. And he was like, I don't know, man, just do it different. And so I just did it a little bit different, just like the translator said. And as soon as I did it a little bit different, every single one of the directors went, oh, good. And we had a lot of fun things like that. And another thing that came to mind is that they had someone in the studio whose job it was to make sure that nothing got into the American game that was too Japanese. And so we were doing a section of recording which is called emotives. And for those of you in the business, you know that these are not the words, but the sounds you make when you take damage, when you fall off of a cliff or whatever. So it's mostly a lot of that sort of thing. And there was a direction in the script where it said, Sonic climbs a ladder. And so I was like, okay, I climb a ladder. So I was like, And the director said, no. hiya, hiya, hiya. And I was just like, do they really want me to do Sonic like that? Because that, I don't think that's quite right. And luckily, the Americanizer in the studio was like, oh, no, we don't do that here. We don't say hiya when we climb a ladder. It's more like he did it. And so they were like, oh, okay. So then I got to go back to going, So yeah, that was a fun time. That was a fun time. Cultural differences in the recording studio was fun.
Let's have a chili cheese dog. Extra cheese and drop the onions at Fuddruckers.
Our TV series, like an official formal one. And what do you think that would have been like? Like what kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog TV series would you like to be in if you were a part of it?
Oh, I wish I knew. You know, with all the Sonic TV series that have been out there, like Sonic X and Sonic Prime and Sonic Boom and all that, they've all kind of had their own angle on it. And I've enjoyed some of them a little more than others, but I just would want to be in something that's kind of like sanctioned by Sega, so it doesn't go too far off the rails.
So like Sonic and Tails are basically, so they're kind of doing that already. So I guess they're kind of
I hope someday. My agent is kind of notorious for contacting Sega every now and again, just saying, you know, Ryan can still do it if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
when Roger decided he was gonna retire, that week that he retired or whatever it was, my agent was all over Sega saying, Ryan's ready. He's right there. He'll come back if you want. We just got to talk about the contract, but it's fine. And negotiated with Roger, and he came back, and that was it. But yeah, maybe one day. But you know what? My favorite thing about being a part of this franchise is getting to do stuff like this and meeting cool people. So I don't need to go back and do more games. If they wanted me to, that's fine. But I personally don't need to go back and do that. It's not really a goal of mine because I've already done games. I've done a lot with this franchise. So I just kind of want to do stuff now in my career that I really like to do, not that I have to do. And so I like doing stuff like this. Yeah.
Fantastic panel. I hope everyone else has enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you, Ryan, for being here at Fairfax Comic Con. Thank you to everyone for showing up, asking your questions. Don't forget, you can go and see Ryan in the back. You're in the back, right?
The very back corner.
Very back corner.
I've been bad.
Go, you know, you can go get a photo with him, autograph, all that fun stuff. Right now, we're going to take a selfie. So if everyone would stand up and get close to the stage.